KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Hanrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Breaking news at this hour, the Grant County Sheriff's Office is asking people living near Quincy on Road S Northwest to shelter in place. According to their Facebook page, deputies are searching for a wanted suspect in that area. Not much else is known at this hour. We will continue to bring you updates as we learn more. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. A Spokane County Sheriff's deputy accused of beating a man last summer is out of a job tonight. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office made that announcement earlier today. Following the news, KREM 2's Cody Proctor spoke with the attorneys representing the man the deputy is charged with assaulting. Cody?
Well, when I spoke to Kevin Hinton's attorneys about the termination of Sergeant Clay Hilton from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office today, they said it was about time.
It's a peaceful evening at Spokane Valley's Terrace View Park. A far different kind of night compared to last August when Kevin Hinton left the park bloody and beaten. This body cam video shows the altercation.
You are going to get hurt. If you don't listen to what I'm telling you.
Are you audio video recording this?
I already told you that. Get on.
Hey,
Get on the ground. You're under arrest. Give me your hands.
Okay.
Now, more than a year later, Clay Hilton faces assault and false swearing charges. On Tuesday, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office announced the termination of Hilton from the agency. Sheriff John Knowles said he met with Hilton and his lawyer to address the incident after they finalized the internal investigation. In a statement, Sheriff Knowles said in part, quote, "After reviewing the internal investigation, I believe it clearly showed some members of the Sheriff's Office, including supervisors, did not live up to the standards of conduct of the Sheriff's Office during and after this incident."
I can say it's about time.
Tim Notes, one of the attorneys representing Hinton. I spoke with him over the phone.
I know one of Mr. Hinton's biggest frustrations throughout this entire last 13 months is this guy's still getting paid.
While he says his client's injuries healed over the last year, the mental trauma remained.
Now, knowing that he's actually been terminated, I think that will help his mental recovery.
Sheriff Knowles also stated on Tuesday, quote, "I imposed discipline on those members at a level I believe is appropriate, including the significant step of terminating Mr. Hilton's employment. Additionally, I have made changes to policy, ensuring we appropriately document and review all uses of force." But Note remains skeptical about the reported policy changes.
What I'm wondering is if there are actual real changes, or if they're adding a level of buffer between accountability and the elected sheriff.
Hilton's arraignment set for later this month.
Now, Hinton's attorney also recently filed a federal lawsuit against Hilton, the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, and the city of Spokane Valley. Note says they're waiting to see if the Department of Justice will take an interest in the case. In the studio, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
All right, Cody, thank you very much. New tonight, it appears Dave Upthegrove will be moving on to the general election in the race for Public Lands Commissioner. This after officials across Washington spent the last week recounting votes by hand. That hand recount was triggered because of the narrow margin between Dave Upthegrove and Sue Keel-Peterson. Only 51 votes separated the two. After the recount, Upthegrove's lead was extended to 53 votes. It's important to note the new count still needs to be certified, but at this hour, it appears Upthegrove will join Jamie Herrera Butler on the November ballot.
So help me God.
I truly, so help me God.
Congratulations. You are now official.
Also new tonight, Coeur d'Alene officially has a new mayor. City Council swore in longtime council member Woody McEvers tonight at the meeting. He is taking over for Jim Hammond's term. Hammond announced his retirement back in July, citing a need to spend more time with his family and to focus on his health. New Mayor McEvers is responsible for helping create the city's government cable station and pushing forward an update to McEwen Park. All right, switching gears to talk weather after a gloomier Labor Day. It's only going up from here. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo tracking some downright hot temperatures heading our way. Jeremy?
Yeah, it sure doesn't feel like the first week of school by any means. It is all sorts of warm. 73 degrees right now, and those temperatures still dropping and likely going to continue to do so. Let's talk the air. You're good to open the windows, still sit at a moderate in terms of air quality, and that's probably where we stay with ongoing wildfires and just a little bit of smoke and nothing to get rid of it. Overall, temperatures have dropped, especially if you're out of Spokane. Deer Park down to 62, Sandpoint 59 already, even Coeur d'Alene down to 70 and mid 60s out in central Washington. For us here in Spokane, I think we fall into the 60s by about midnight. Tomorrow morning, we'll be in the 50s and then start the climb. That climb takes us into a very, very warm day. In fact, it looks like we top out in the upper 80s tomorrow under sunny skies. And with a stagnant ridge of high pressure, expect the haze as temps climb into the 90s Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday.
All right, sounds good. Jeremy will check back in with you later in the show. Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The Idaho State Fire Marshal's Office began investigating the fire that destroyed the beloved Wolf Lodge Steakhouse. That fire started yesterday, and that building is now considered a complete loss. Kootenai County Fire and Rescue says it appears to be accidental and not suspicious. The State Fire Marshal's Office has been taking photos and videos of the property today. Investigators have also moved debris around to find the fire's origin. The Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Chief says all this information will help investigators piece together what happened.
People on scene had been taking photos, so they're trying to kind of gauge a timeline of kind of how the fire progressed and where the fire was by the time 911 was already called. And then they're going to be looking at just areas of origin and going through what the witnesses said of where they felt like the fire may have started.
The chief also says Wolf Lodge was not open to the public yesterday. Management was hosting an appreciation barbecue for the staff. The only person hurt in the fire was the assistant manager. They suffered second-degree burns but were released from the hospital today. Well, you may have seen this wild video online. A man hitched a ride on the back of a semi-truck as it got onto I-90. We spoke with a Washington State Patrol trooper who says it is one of the strangest calls he's ever received. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, hear from the man who captured it all on video.
Hands up, put your hands behind your head.
New video of police arresting a man suspected of multiple shootings on I-5 in Seattle overnight. WSP troopers are investigating at least 6 shootings where 5 people were hurt. One woman is in serious condition in the ICU from her injuries. The spree spanned across King and Pierce counties. It began around 9:30 last night. Then miles away, another shooting where 3 were hurt. Hours later at 1:30 a.m., 2 more shootings along southbound I-5. Police say it appeared to be the same car at all the shootings. Right now, the suspected shooter is in custody. At this point, we don't know a motive. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. New video tonight shows the chaos unfolding inside an Alderwood Mall as a 13-year-old girl was randomly shot and killed. It happened back in early July after a group of teenage boys got into a fight. A 16-year-old is now charged in the death of Jada Woods Johnson. Joyce Taylor with our Seattle sister station has a closer look at what happened.
Less than 10 seconds. That's how long it took from the start of a fight at Alderwood Mall to when a 13-year-old girl was shot. New mall security video obtained by King 5 shows how it all unfolded. In the video, blurred by Linwood police, you can see a group of teenage boys on the right side of the screen. On the left side, you see 13-year-old Jada Woods Johnson walking with her friend the opposite direction. At one point, you see one of the boys hit another teen, who police say is 16-year-old Samuel Giza. The group of boys is then seen running away from him after police say he pulled a gun to allegedly shoot at the boy who punched him. Jada was shot instead. 5 seconds later, she is seen slowly dropping to the ground. New police body cam video shows officers arrived within minutes. First responders performed CPR and other life-saving measures, but could not save her. The 16-year-old suspect left the scene, but turned himself in the night of the shooting. I'm Joyce Taylor, King 5 News.
Also new tonight, a plane crash near Portland killed 3 people this weekend, 2 on board and 1 inside a townhouse. Federal investigators say the pilot reported control problems over the radio just moments before clipping a power line and crashing into a row of homes less than a mile away from where it took off. You can see the shocking aftermath of the crash. Federal investigators will also review weather, flight tracking data, pilot history, and surveillance video to try to piece together exactly what went wrong. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.